I'm live. Hi everyone. Hope you're all well. Oh, things have changed since the last time I was on here. Okay, here we go. God, very timely. We're speaking with Russell Tovey today and he's already sent his request. So thanks, Russell. Let me... I think I've done it. Thanks everyone for joining. Hi, if you're just joining us, we're speaking with Russell Tovey today. There he is.
How are you?
Hi, how are
Hi.
you? Okay.
Yeah, I'm good. How are you? Is this all right? Receptions? Does this seem good?
Yeah, you look fine. I can hear you. You're all good. Can you
Great.
see me? Hear me?
You're amazing.
Nice to meet you. I'm Hannah. I'm the
Hi,
UK
Hannah.
casting specialist at Backstage.
Fab.
And thank you so much for joining us today. I watched The Sister last weekend and well, I tried to not binge it because I know obviously people this week haven't been able to. It's going on ITV every. Is it on every night?
Yeah.
But I really failed because at the end of every episode I was like, oh my god, I need to know what's going on. So
Great.
yeah, it's just really
Oh,
good. Have you been watching along this week?
I have. I've been watching along. The last time I saw it was when we did the dubbing, the ADR and stuff, when there's like an aeroplane over a line and traffic and stuff. So I saw rough cuts, so I like to see it when it goes out. It's been tense. I've been really tense, but
Even though you know what's going on, you
yeah,
all
you
still
forget.
like,
You
yeah.
forget, and you don't see what everyone else has really been doing because all of your stuff, you know, you can't. It's difficult. You don't really know. You can't picture in your head. I've seen bits of it, but I've never seen it all put together. And then also it goes out on TV with like the adverts and all that sort of stuff. So you really feel what it is to be in a TV show on ITV.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, now especially there's much more access to TV, which is without all of those ad breaks. And actually, when I was watching, I was like, okay, this is actually really helping with the story. Like you're in suspense, waiting for the next part. So it was great. It was perfect. So really enjoyed it. So we're going to dive into that in a second.
Okay.
If anybody has any questions for Russell, please do pop them in the comment box. They seem to just go up like that, so I'll have to like just quickly try and read them out
Yeah.
if I can remember. But we're going to dive into your acting career a little bit, and
Okay.
then we'll come back to The Sister.
Okay.
So yeah, so I know that you started really, really young. So can you remember when you first thought about starting to act and what made you want to do it?
Yeah, I remember that I saw a movie called, well, I was watching lots of movies as a kid. I remember watching The Goonies over and over again, Home Alone, Flight of the Navigator, Hook, Stand By Me, which I probably was too young to watch. And I remember I watched a movie called Dead Poet Society, which had Robin Williams in. And I remember I think I must have been 9 or 10. I was so moved by this movie, which again, I think I was too young to really watch, but emotionally, I was so invested. And I remember looking back, I know this now, that I had a feeling that I thought, I want people to feel the way that Robin Williams has made me feel. It suddenly
Yeah.
felt like the ability to do something through acting that you could affect someone who you've never met, the other side of the world, so profoundly felt like such an amazing gift and such an amazing honor to do that to someone. And I think I was like, that's what I want to do. And I was doing gymnastics. I used to go to gymnastics every Saturday. My brother was dancing at this local place in Essex where I'm from. And then one day there was a TV show in the UK called Grange Hill, which was about
Yes.
a load of school kids,
So
basically.
good.
And there was a guy who came from Grange Hill to do a meet and greet with everyone. So everyone went and got pictures with him. And I remember I stood next to him and I was like, how do you get to do acting? And he went, oh, I'm with this stage school and I got an agency. And I went to my mum, that's what I want to do. So then she sent me to like all the drama clubs I could find. And that was it. It just started happening from like 11. I started doing extra work. I did extra work on a show here called The Bill, which was a police officer show or a police force show. And I played a traveller in that. And I threw a ball at a police officer when they came onto our site. And then everyone else around me was getting more extra parts, like supporting artist parts. And I started getting auditions. and started getting that. And that's in, and it's sort of, I've been really lucky that I've gone from kid to adult, and I've done it all my life, basically, I guess.
Yeah. So your first job then was when you were what age? Like 10, 11?
10, 11, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And was that, did you say that was on the bill or was that on, so, yeah.
That was the bill. That was like, yeah, that was like my first thing with a crew and camera and everything, yeah.
And can you remember what that was like for you? Like, what, did you feel intimidated? Like, what did it feel like?
It felt like heaven. I remember we went and got all these signatures from all the cast, and I was so excited to be there, and I took everything in. I was fascinated by the whole, you know, the logistics of how to make a TV show, and it felt so exciting that I was inside the TV. I remember being like, I've seen this from the outside, and now I'm in the inside seeing all this, and I'm going to see myself on the outside. I remember just being so, like, mystified by that and so excited by it.
Like Mike TV in Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm in the TV.
I'm in the TV. Yeah.
That's amazing. So obviously you started really young.
Yeah.
And I read somewhere that you got expelled from college. Is that right information?
Yeah, I was doing a BTEC. So I left school at 16 and went to do a BTEC, performing arts and A level, and I did a year, and then they didn't invite me back. They said they weren't going to invite me back because I was a bit. The term I would use is cheeky, which I thought cheeky and charming, which doesn't go down well with some people. And I remember I had we were in the chorus of Rent the musical, because we were the first years. The second years got all the lead roles, so all the first years did ensemble. And I remember I got a McDonald's commercial, and then the Millennium Dome was just about to open, and I got a film that was going to be shown in the Millennium Dome. So I said to them, look, I'm not going to be able to be in the chorus of Rent as much as I'd love it, because I've got these things. And they went, call your agent, say thank you very much, but you're not going to take the jobs because you need to do this show at college. I was like, sure. No, I'm not going to do that. And they went, if you leave now, you'll never work again. And I remember in my head going, did you seriously just say that? I was like, oh my God. And I was like, I'm doing the advert and I'm doing the film. And then they were just like, that was on top of me being like, I don't know, showing off maybe too much. And then, I wasn't invited back.
Well, you're already working. So it's like, what's the... Well, you're training to do the job that you're actually doing there.
Exactly.
I hear that a lot with people who are in drama school and they have to turn down jobs when they're in drama school. They won't give them the time. And it's like, well, let me develop myself now. Like, I'm getting these opportunities. So obviously from that point then, from you were like 10, 11, working, and you've worked really consistently. You know, your CV is ridiculous. So have there been, as you've like grown up, or as you've moved through your career, has there been any transitions for you that you've had to like get to grips with in terms of like what you think about yourself as an actor that you've had to move through? Yeah,
I think, well, for me, the biggest transitions, the biggest growth I've developed is through doing plays. So through theatre, that's been fundamental, like benchmarks throughout my whole career, has been these plays and these stories that I've told on stage. So that's where I've learned most about myself. That's where I've learned most about acting and an audience and how to tell a story and skill and all of that. And I guess I've been challenged most in my career by plays, by the endurance of doing a play 8 shows a week. So physically, but also mentally, how to keep it fresh, how to keep connecting to an audience, how to stay clear, how to stay true to the character. So yeah, plays and theatre have been fundamental, and I will always choose a play over anything else. It's right. Really?
So obviously you were just about to be in a really big show on Broadway in New York.
Well, we did 8 previews. We'd done 5 weeks rehearsal, 8 previews. On our 7th preview, one of our ushers tested positive for COVID. So we were like ground zero for COVID on Broadway. We were the first theatre to get it. And then we came in the next day and they did a deep clean. And then they said, you can go on tonight if you want. And we rallied and we were like, yeah, we go on. So we had notes because it was a preview still. And then we went on stage, and I remember in my head playing these notes thinking, right, on this line, look this way, put that drink down on that line. Don't tread on that cue, wait for a laugh, then do that. And then another voice in my head was going, there's a pandemic taking over the globe. We might all be dead in a week. Who knows? This feels so surreal that suddenly I'm trying to play a director's note, Joe Mantello, who's a genius and I love, and I love the production. But then also like, I'm in New York and this is really scary suddenly. And then the next day they said, don't come in. We're going to stop the show. And then I was like, right. And then flew back before they closed the borders. And then that was it.
Oh my gosh. And now
Yeah,
obviously, we have such a massive audience in New York, and theatre is just so sad what's happening. But do you have any indication on whether that might be something that's picked back up next year?
Well, the official word is it's done. So everything's been taken out of theatre now. It's all put in storage, I've heard. So it's still there to come back. But who knows? And then again with dates, it's like when everything does kick up again, there's things that were meant to be being filmed. There's 4 actors in that show that are all kind of actors that work a lot. It's like, how are you going to suddenly get everyone together again for 7 months? The same cast. It's tricky, the logistics of that. But saying that, it was an incredibly exciting preview situation, and the audience's reactions was incredible. That I can't see why there wouldn't be that inclination to jump back on if we had the chance to.
Right. Well, fingers crossed. Because when we
Where are you? Where are you? You in New York?
I'm in the UK. I'm in Wales at the moment, actually, where you've shot a lot of your projects, Being Human and everything. So I'm here at the moment, but our main headquarters is in New York, and that's where Backstage was born. So when we posted out, we had quite a few comments saying, gutted to have missed it. They had their tickets and, really getting. So hopefully I'll get picked back up. But so that's interesting to hear that you'd rather take theatre over film if you were given the option. Yeah. What are you liking with auditions? Is that something that you love them? I love
an audition. I love being in the room with the director, producer, casting director, other actors. I love it. I hate self-taping. I find it so soulless and shit, really. I find it really, I don't enjoy it. I get depressed when I get an email and they want you to self-tape, and I'm like, can I at least FaceTime or Skype or meet the director or the writer? They're just self-taping for this, and I'm like, it depresses me. And I think that's the way the world's going, obviously, and that's the way the job's going, and I've got to embrace it more. And I keep getting pep talked by my agents and team, like, Russell, come on, stop being so tape. And I'm like, I know, but I've done so many tapes, and so many just never come to anything, and it just, after a while, you get depressed. When it comes to actually being in the room or connecting to someone, I love it. I absolutely love it.
You've got no feedback, so you can't, like, how are you going to know? You're just doing it out into the ether. It's really,
Well, it's so many times that you spend like hours developing it. You film it, you get it lit well, you have someone good reading with you, send it off, and then you wait for about 4 or 5 days, and a message comes back going, hi, can you just do it again? But this time, can you just make him a bit more happier? Or can you make him a bit more, funnier? And you're like, yeah. And then you do it again, and then you don't hear anything. And you're just like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm doing this. It really, it is what it is, but I find it a very frustrating process. But I know that that's me, and I need to embrace it, because so many other actor friends of mine love a self-tape, because they're like, I feel like I'm in control. I'm able to choose what I do. I can choose the tape I send off. I can decide what they get to see rather than being in the moment. But I love being in the moment. I'm instinctive, and I love the fact that I would give something in the room, and a creative will turn around and go, no, or yes, but how about this, or how about that? And I'm able to go, yep, straight away. Okay, cool. And then I know that I can do that in the moment. But when you do a tape, it's just like, I find it hard.
You're not going to know as well. It's more difficult to know whether or not you like vibe with the team as well. Like if they've got the same energy, if they have the same ideas as you, and like the enthusiasm is something that you just can't, obviously, even on Zoom, it's too difficult.
Yeah, but at least on Zoom, at least a FaceTime or Skype, you are connecting to someone and they can give you notes, and it's in the moment. When it's just you doing it by yourself and then just sending it off and waiting, I find it, it's not. But I've just got to, stop.
Just gonna have to get over it.
Stop being a little prince about it. I've just got to do it. Yeah.
So, so the sister then, what was the audition process like for that, or were you just sent the script and they?
Yeah, I sent the script for that one.
Great, cool. Yeah. So, it is. Let's talk about the sister. I don't want to give any spoilers, and I'm always really, really cautious of what I say. So, do you want to explain what the sister is about without doing that?
Yeah. The Sister is a 4-part drama, which is a co-production between ITV and Hulu. So it's on Hulu later on the year, because a lot of people internationally have been asking when it's going to be over there. Written by Neil Cross, who wrote Luther with Idris Elba. So tonally, we follow his oeuvre of that ilk. And it's about Nathan, who is a really sweet guy, who one New Year's Eve, something happens with a girl, and the next 10 years, he's desperately trying to live with the knowledge of something he's done. And we find him 10 years on, and suddenly the Pandora's kept it all in the box. He's been Pandora, he's kept all the stuff in the box, and suddenly the door knocks and the box is open, Pandora's run off somewhere, and he's desperately trying to get her back to close the box up. And it's a thriller, it's psychological, but it's also, at its heart, a love story, which I don't think you see a combination like that very often. I play Nathan, and he is a very challenging guy, and I think people are watching it and they're really conflicted because they don't want him to have made bad decisions or done bad things, but he may or may not have done, but people want him to be the hero.
Absolutely. And that's exactly, I was watching it and noticed, well, oh my God, what would you do? What would you actually do if you're in that situation? And he's so stuck in the knowledge of what he's done, and it's it's really.
But he's not like, he's just a very ordinary guy who just wants a simple life, and something extraordinary has happened to him that doesn't happen to everyone. But what's scary about this is that it could. And the fact that every day good people make bad mistakes. Every day good people get behind their car and check their mobile phone and run someone over. Every day good people do things, everybody has the ability to screw up. And that's what's terrifying about this character, Nathan, is that you can suddenly go, God, that could happen.
Easily happen. Yeah. Could easily happen. Especially when you're younger and you put yourself in situations, and looking back on my 20s now, I'm like, oh my God, what was I doing? But there are so many situations which could turn out bad, and this happens to people, and this is a real good story to bring you into that. I've just seen that somebody's written, I wish I knew that it was a thriller before I watched it on my own in the dark. So that, if you haven't seen it yet, that gives you a good idea of It's scary. It is scary. Yeah. And it's so there's so much tension and anxiety. Your character is it's palpable how much is coming off Nathan. Yeah. So how did you do that? How did you wind down after? Because throughout the whole thing.
I didn't wind down on this one. This is one of the ones that I take. Sometimes you take roles home. Sometimes you're able to shake them off. Sometimes you can do something that's really intense on set, and then between takes you can have a laugh. With this one, I couldn't. With this one, I really inhabited Nathan, and I was stuck with him, and I took him home, because every night, the way that I work, my process for learning lines, you have your scripts. I don't learn all the lines. I'm aware of them. Then the night before the next day's filming, you get given your sides for the next day, and in the car home, I will read and learn all my lines. Go to bed, wake up, and then they're there. But every day, because I'm number one on it, which has been amazing. Every day, I'm in every scene, and every scene I'll be driving home in the car or getting driven home in the car, and I'm like, okay, panic attack in that scene, cool. Okay, you're crying and running in that scene, great. Okay, that's another panic attack. Oh, you're only anxious in that? No, that's a panic attack. And you're just like, fuck, it's like you can't. You're in it. But then I had to do that because I would hate to have got to a stage now where I'm watching it going like, oh, I wish I'd got a bit more screwed up doing this, doing that. I wish I'd been more authentically like in the moment with that. But I really did put myself somewhere with that role, and I was relieved when it was over that I could let Nathan go for a bit.
Yeah. It's I don't think I've seen you do a role quite like it before. It really is like amazing. It is next
Thank
level for
you.
sure. And
Yeah.
the character, we see him in three different periods in his life. So how did you begin to work out what Nathan actually was, like his core, Nathan as a core, and then how he is manifesting himself in these different areas of his life? Like, do you have any like particular process that you use?
It's instinctive, and it's an energy thing. So it's finding out where his energy is at every point in his life. And when he's young, I see him more as he's ambitious. He's a bit of a puppy dog. He's more cheeky. He's more awake. He's more like, his eyes are brighter. And I wanted to make him more like, so you can feel the fall from what could have been the potential crushed. I wanted to make him really just vibrant, and that energy is a bit more kind of upbeat. And then when he's realized what's happened, then he descends into the lowest thing. So again, that's an energy, finding that, and that sits in the bottom of your stomach like a load of crap you carry around. And then when he's decided that he's not going to kill himself, I wanted to find an energy where he was trying to get back to what he had, but he couldn't. So it's a different place, but it's where you set it in your body. And I think I knew where he was in the story when I felt it in my body at each stage.
Yeah, it's really great. In fact, so just to remind everyone, it's on ITV at the moment. So if you haven't started watching it already, check it out on the what do they call
Hub.
the ITV player, the Hub.
ITV Hub, yeah.
And then when is it on Hulu?
I don't know. End of the year?
Okay. Oh, well, that's really soon. So that's great.
Oh yeah, that's right. It is soon. I'm thinking like it's months away. No, it's not.
No, 2020 it's done. So
yeah.
End of the
Goodbye,
year.
2020.
So how have you been looking after yourself this year? I know you write quite a lot, don't you? So have you been spending your time with that stuff?
Yeah. I have an art podcast, which is another side of my life, which is a total passion of mine. I've been doing that since August 2018. We've got a book deal, which is available for pre-order now on Amazon, called Talk Art. Everything you wanted to know about the art world but were scared to ask. It's been brilliant to use this time to channel these anxieties into this art podcast, into writing the books. I've been writing the book throughout. I've been writing some TV shows. I've had a short story published. And then that's been good to focus and stay creative. I'm really lucky that I've been able to do that and bring something else into my life that is creative and as passionate and exciting to me as acting. Because if I was just waiting for an acting job during this whole time, I think it would have been a different experience totally. I definitely went down the drinking a bottle of red wine a night, eating whatever I wanted night, pizza every night, and it was glorious for a while. And I was like, this is great. And then it got to a point where it's like, I'm out of breath walking from the bathroom to the kitchen to get more pizza. This isn't good. So then it's like, all right, you've got to reverse that. So I probably had about 5 or 6 weeks of just going like, who cares? Who cares? I've just been told it's on Hulu early next year. I got that wrong. So
okay,
yes,
great.
Start of next year. Yeah.
Cool. So you've been really busy. I feel like I have gone through all those stages myself as well. But like speaking to a lot of actors, people just keep themselves busy, and this has opened up people's minds to what else they can be other than the one thing that they've thought themselves of.
But I think there's 2 points to that. Is that I think we're also at a stage where you're allowed to switch lanes. I think when I first started acting, it's like you do TV, you do theatre, you do film. That's it. If you do anything else, you don't really, you're staying in them sort of worlds. Once you're in there, you're in there. Now it's like you can do a play a year and 2 movies, a TV show, you can do it all. And you're allowed to switch lanes. And I think that's amazing that I've been allowed to then bring all of my acting life and that world into my art world and vice versa, and they fed into each other. Yeah, that's been amazing. But also I think it's what was the other point I was going to make? No, I've lost that. But I think it's
Well,
just lucky to have that ability to do that. Yeah.
yeah. On that topic, I've seen as soon as we started mentioning talk art, which is something that I definitely need to try because I'm so addicted to podcasts. But maybe the title, I don't know anything about art, but hearing you explain what it's about, that's like a good
Yeah.
title.
Well,
Yeah.
it's about. I'm an art geek, and my podcast partner Rob Diamond is a total art geek, and we set it up so we could be geeks and talk to other geeks and talk to our heroes, and it's very non-academic, very easy listening, because the art world can feel like a members club for so many people, and it isn't, and it doesn't have to be, because art is for everyone, and we have so many museums that are free. We have so much public art which you walk past every day and don't realize, but the reason it's there is because art is for everyone. Art is for the public. Art makes everything better, and it's the way that humans connect, humans tell stories, and it's really important that we have art in our lives and we have culture, and whether that is a physical artwork, whether that's a movie, like they can change you. Like Dead Post Society changed my life. Like I'm sure you've had moments of watching movies or plays that have changed your life. These things are important, and the arts are so important and vital to what it is to be human, to recognize other humanity and understand other people, whether how diverse, how unrepresented they are. They need to be represented. They need to be seen. People need to know that, because then how do we get better without knowing who else is in the world?
Yeah. I'm sold. I need to listen to it. 100%.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time. I just have one more question for you.
Yeah.
Do you have a piece of advice which has been given to you, or a piece of advice that you want to give to actors? Yeah.
To actors, well, not actors, my advice, and this does go for actors as well, is never apologize for enthusiasm. If you're enthusiastic about something, whatever that is, if you like digging up shells, if you like, swimming, if you like climbing trees, if you're into it or you want to know everything about it, don't apologize for that, because so many people run away from enthusiasm because they feel ashamed or embarrassed, but don't. I felt so much happier when I embraced the fact that I am a bit of a geek, and instead of trying to be cool and pretending, I am a geek and I love it, and it's made my life so much better. So never apologize for that. My advice for actors in the current climate, or just in general, just in general, I think it's just finding the best actors I know and love watching are instinctive actors. The actors that emotionally connect whatever they're playing, that are sharing a part of themselves with every role they play. Because you play so many roles, but of course they come from you. So every role I've ever played, I've tried to find something fresh, but of course a lot of their emotional capability and instincts come from my life. So embrace your own emotional journey and use that to make these characters that you're playing more alive, because that's the way that people connect, is through honesty and authenticity. And they're the best stories and the best characters is when you can see that someone is completely committed and authentic, and they're rooting everything they're saying into themselves.
Yeah. Thank you so much for all the
Oh, you're
amazing
so welcome.
advice.
Yeah.
We've
No
had
worries.
so many lovely comments coming through. I'm like trying to read whilst talking, but yeah, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you, Russell, especially for your work, but your time and your advice.
You're
Everyone
welcome.
watch your sister. It's amazing. Was there anything else that you wanted to shout out?
I'm trying to think what that thing is, because I had a really good point. It's really annoying I forgot it. But you said to me, so many people have found this time. That was it. What I'm really inspired by artists, by all culture, is that the ability to adapt. The fact that we don't sit still and wait for things to blow over. Like we're doing this IG live now, Zoom stuff. Like I did a photo shoot at the beginning of lockdown through Zoom, and I was like, what am I doing? And this guy had a bit of mirror and two bits of perspex, and he was shooting the screen on Skype. these photos came back, they're amazing. And I was like, this is so inspiring, because as artists, we adapt, we keep going, we keep telling stories, because that's what we need to do. We don't sit around, we forge ahead, and we go, right, what's the challenge? I'm going to rise to that, and I'm going to win this, I'm going to beat this, and I'm going to keep telling stories, because that's what we need to keep doing.
Oh no.
This whole time has really, really inspired me with
Yeah,
that.
I feel exactly the same way. I really do. And it was like you said, Red Wine Month. And then from that point, it has just been everybody doing something different. And everyone's been really inspiring and inspired. And it's been great. So we will carry on things with influences of what has happened this year. But hopefully a little bit less self-taping.
For me, yeah. For everyone, please. Just get rid of self-taping. Just get everyone in the room.
Yeah, wicked. All right then. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Hannah. It's lovely to talk to you.
Lovely to talk to you too.
Take
Cheers.
care.
Bye.
Bye.